Hello everyone. Today let's have a look at the iconic British royal tiaras. Grab something warm or sparkling, make yourself cozy, and let's dive in. The Queen Mary Fringe Tiara. This particular piece was commissioned by Queen Mary in 1990, crafted by Gerard, the crown jeweler at the time. The tiara's design was influenced by Russian Kokoshnik headdresses, which were traditional fan-shaped headpieces. Queen Mary admired this style as her cousin, Empress Maria Feodorovna of Russia, wore similar tiaras. An interesting fact, Queen Camilla has a connection to Maria Feodorovna and Queen Mary through her grandmother Alice Capel. She was the well-known mistress of King Edward VII, Queen Mary's father-in-law. The diamonds used in the tiara originally came from a necklace given to Queen Mary by her grandmother, Queen Victoria, as a wedding gift. The Queen Mary Fringe Tiara is known for being lightweight. This piece includes a hinged base, which allows it to sit perfectly flat on the wearer's head. This design innovation ensures the tiara doesn't pinch or wobble during important events. Queen Elizabeth II wore it on her wedding day to Prince Philip in 1947. The tiara snapped just hours before the ceremony, but the quick-thinking Gerard jewelers rushed the piece to their workshop under police escort. They managed to repair it just in time, and the break is nearly invisible to this day. Princess Anne also wore the same tiara for her wedding to Mark Phillips in 1973, continuing the tradition of this tiara being a bridal favorite. Most recently, Princess Beatrice chose this tiara for her wedding to Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi in 2020. She wore a gown by Normal Hartnell, on a loan from Queen Elizabeth, her grandmother. The designer was behind both Queen Elizabeth's wedding dress and coronation gown, in addition to Princess Margaret's wedding look. The Lover's Knot Tiara. This headpiece was commissioned by Queen Mary in 1914, also created by Gerard. The tiara's design was inspired by a piece owned by Queen Mary's grandmother, Princess Augusta of Hesse. This tiara features diamond bows or lover's knots, topped with hanging pearls. It originally had 19 upright pearls, which were later removed for a sleeker design. It has a distinctive romantic style, making it one of the most recognizable royal tiaras. Princess Diana wore the Lover's Knot tiara during an official visit to Hong Kong in November 1989. She also wore a stunning Catherine Walker dress, embroidered with thousand sequins and pearls. Diana herself linked it to one of Elvis Presley's Las Vegas ensembles. This is why this dress is referred to as Elvis dress. But the designer actually took inspiration from the Elizabethan ruff for the collar of this jacket. It was intended as a tribute to Hong Kong, sometimes called the Pearl of the Orient. Another stunning appearance by Diana wearing the Lover's Knot tiara was in 1986 during her visit to Vancouver in Canada. She paired the tiara with a beautiful white lace gown and matching pearl drop earrings. The tiara is known to be quite heavy, which is why in some photos of Princess Diana you can see her touching her head, likely from discomfort. Despite this, the tiara remained one of her favorites. More recently, Kate Middleton has brought this tiara back into the spotlight. She wore the tiara during the state banquet for President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. Kate wore a white Alexander McQueen gown and the Victorian Order, her first time wearing it since she was bestowed the honor by the Queen on her 8th-year wedding anniversary. Another memorable appearance of the Lover's Knot happened in 2022, during a state banquet for the South African president at Buckingham Palace. Princess wore an embellished Jenny Peckham gown. That is interesting how both Princess Diana and the current Princess of Wales both seem to favor this particular tiara. The Vladimir tiara. This headpiece was made by Bolin, a Russian jeweler. This tiara originally belonged to Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna, wife of Grand Duke Vladimir, a member of the Russian imperial family. It was later smuggled out of Russia by a British diplomat who worked for the Grand Duchess, hidden in a plain bag. After Maria Pavlovna's death in 1920, her jewels were sold to fund her family's exile. Queen Mary purchased the Vladimir tiara in the early 1920s. She had it adapted by Gerard, making the pendants interchangeable. It can be worn with pearls, emeralds, or just diamonds. The tiara's design reflects the grandeur of the Russian imperial court. Its circles of diamonds with dangling pendants mirror the opulent style of the Romanovs. Queen Mary appreciated this aesthetic as she admired Russian tiaras worn by her cousin Empress Maria Feodorovna. The tiara became one of Queen Elizabeth II's favorite pieces. She wore it regularly for state banquets, portraits, and important events. In 1957, she wore the tiara with pearls during a state dinner in Paris, showcasing its versatility. She also famously wore it in 1922 for a state dinner in New Zealand. This tiara was also featured in multiple official portraits of the Queen, often paired with her iconic diamond necklaces. The Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The tiara was presented to Queen Mary in 1893 as a wedding gift when she married future King George V. The story is quite tragic. Queen Mary was originally engaged to George's older brother, Prince Albert Victor. However, just weeks after their engagement, Albert Victor tragically died of pneumonia in January 1892, leaving Mary heartbroken and George unexpectedly next in line for the throne. Despite the awkward circumstances, Mary and George grew close, bonding over their shared grief. They became engaged in 1893, and their marriage blossomed into a genuine and devoted partnership over their 42-year union. The gift came from a committee of women known as the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland, who raised funds to purchase it. The group wanted the tiara to represent the collective goodwill of women across the United Kingdom and Ireland. The tiara was made by Gerard. It originally included a detachable row of upright pearls at the top, which Queen Mary later removed to create a sleeker and more modern design. Queen Mary passed the tiara to her granddaughter, Queen Elizabeth II, in 1947, as a wedding gift when Elizabeth married Prince Philip. Queen Elizabeth affectionately referred to as Granny's tiara, as it was one of her most cherished pieces from her grandmother. This tiara became one of Queen Elizabeth's signature pieces. She wore it in numerous official portraits, many of which were used on British banknotes, coins, and stamps. She also wore it in her first official portrait as Queen, symbolizing her role as the head of state. But Queen Elizabeth II also frequently chose it for the state banquets and receptions throughout her reign, including visits to the United States and Singapore. Queen Camilla made her debut of the tiara in 2023 during a dinner at Mansion House in London. The Cartier Halo Tiara. It was commissioned in 1936 by King George as a gift for his wife, Queen Mother. It was a romantic gesture from the king, who had only recently ascended to the throne after his brother Edward's abdication. The Queen Mother passed the tiara on to her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II, as a present for her 18th birthday in 1944. Despite owning the tiara, Queen Elizabeth never wore it publicly, choosing instead to loan it to other members of the royal family. The tiara's small size and simplicity make it an ideal choice for the royals wearing tiaras for the first time. It's often loaned to younger members of the family for their early appearances at formal events. The tiara is crafted with 739 brilliant cut diamonds and 149 baguette cut diamonds, all set in platinum. The scroll motifs give it a soft and romantic look, while the diamonds provide incredible sparkle without overwhelming the design. Queen Elizabeth frequently loaned it to her younger sister, Princess Margaret. Firstly, she wore the tiara during the inauguration celebrations for Queen Juliana of the Netherlands in 1948. Later, Margaret also wore the headpiece at her sister's coronation in 1953. Princess Anne wore the tiara frequently before her marriage. Here she makes her very first tiara appearance in public, wearing the halo for the state opening of Parliament in October 1967. Once Princess Anne moved on to the bigger diadems, the halo tiara went into the vault, unseen for many years, until Kate Middleton famously wore it for her wedding to Prince William in 2011. The delicate scroll designs perfectly matched her Alexander McQueen gown. The Greville Emerald Kokoshnik Tiara. This tiara was made in 1990 by Boucheron, a French jewelry brand famous for its beautiful and creative designs. The Kokoshnik was commissioned in 1990 by Dame Margaret Greville, a wealthy socialite known for her grand lifestyle and love of fine jewelry. Dame Greville was a close friend of the British royal family and frequently hosted aristocrats and royals at her lavish home, Polesden Lacey. The tiara's design is inspired by Kokoshnik's traditional Russian headpieces with a wide, curved shape. The centerpiece is a giant 93-carat emerald surrounded by diamonds arranged in a neat and symmetrical pattern. Dame Margaret Greville had no children, so she left her impressive jewelry collection to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, in 1942. This included the Greville Emerald Kokoshnik tiara along with many other dazzling pieces, such as the Greville Honeycomb tiara. It rumored she left this collection to the royals because she admired their taste and elegance. For much of its history, the tiara remained out of public view. It was rarely, if ever, worn by the Queen Mother. The Emerald Kokoshnik tiara is considered one of the rare tiaras in the British royal collection. It has only been seen publicly on Princess Eugenie, adding to its allure and exclusivity. The Greville Honeycomb tiara. The Greville tiara was originally designed in 1921 by Lucien Hertz for Boucheron. The tiara came into the royal family during World War II, when Queen Mother inherited the extensive Greville jewelry collection. Due to the wartime climate, she didn't wear the tiara publicly until after the war. It's believed her first-time appearance with the tiara was during a state ball held on the royal family's tour of South Africa in March 1947. In 1953, the Queen Mother had the tiara altered to suit her preferences. She enlisted Cartier to enhance its height by rearranging some of the diamonds along the top. This redesign included adding 4 round brilliants and a marquise-cut diamond, further elevating the grandeur of the piece. After its redesign, the tiara became a favorite of the Queen Mother, who wore it regularly for significant occasions. For example, she paired it with other pieces from the Greville collection for a gala performance during the Belgian state visit in 1963. Even into her later years, the Queen Mother continued to wear the tiara. In December 1998, being 98 years old, she wore it with the Greville peardrop earrings and the Greville festoon necklace during the German state visit to Britain. When the Queen Mother passed away in 2002, the tiara, along with her other jewels, was left to Queen Elizabeth II. Out of respect for her mother, Queen Elizabeth never wore the piece herself, as it was deeply associated with her mom. However, in 2005, Queen Elizabeth gave the tiara to Camilla, then the Duchess of Cornwall, following her marriage to Prince Charles. One of Camilla's first appearances wearing the tiara was at a state banquet in March 2006, held in honor of the President of Brazil. Since then, the tiara has become one of Camilla's most frequently worn pieces for formal occasions. Its design is versatile, complementing a wide range of outfits and accessories. Most recently, the tiara made another appearance in 2023, when Camilla wore it for a state banquet in Germany, now as Queen Camilla. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed exploring the beauty of these stunning tiaras. If you did, please give this video a like and feel free to subscribe for more. Have a lovely rest of your day and see you next time. Bye bye!